All right, once you've taken out one piece of paper and you've sealed this back shut, you're just gonna put that in the center. And then we're gonna kind of put that aside for a moment. All right, so you are going to open up your bag of clay. It has a little binder clip on it, which is just this. You just have to open it, and then it has a little pincher for you so you can pull it off. And then you're gonna open up your bag. I want you to choose a medium-sized block of clay. Okay, it does not need to be your biggest one, it does not need to be your smallest one. Just pick one that's in the middle. So look at your blocks of clay and see which one is pretty medium size. So again, not your biggest and not your smallest. I think I found mine. I'm gonna open it up. I'm gonna remove this and put it in the center of my board. And then now I'm going to seal this back up. This is your entire semester's grade in a bag. So please make sure that you are closing it and sealing it and making sure that it is good to go with me. Do not just leave it open. Don't accidentally leave it cracked. A little crack will make it dry out. You have to make sure to take care of this clay, or else your entire grade is gonna dry up and not be good, because that's what happens to the clay. So if you have a spray bottle, get a spray bottle. Give it like 1 or 2 sprays. If you don't have a spray bottle, no worries. Open up your little tool bag and get your sponge and get a little bowl of water. You're just gonna dip the sponge in the water, wring it out a little, and then you're just gonna wring some water into the bag from your sponge. All right, now we're going to seal this up. Okay, get the air out and seal it up fully. And then I'm gonna wrap it down. 1, 2. I don't think I can get it a third one. Oh, I did. So I wrapped it down 3 times and pulled that back down over it. That is how you're going to seal it and make sure that it is good to go. And then you can put that back in your brown bag. All right, so now you have your cube of clay in the center of your project board. The reason that we get this shiny newspaper out and put it on that instead of on the plastic is because the clay will stick to it. All right. However, this little tiny bit of shine keeps it from happening to the paper, and it also makes it so much easier to move around. You can just move the paper around instead. And it's not different than the newspaper. Obviously, newspaper has no like tint to it or laminate to it, so that's why we use this teeny little bit of laminated ad paper. All right, the first thing that we need to do to start our pinch pots is to get our cube into a ball. So what I like to do is, do you see all these edges? All these edges here, where each rectangle meets each other? I'm just gonna take my thumb, I'm gonna gently push into each edge. I'm not doing anything besides pushing these edges down right now. So I'm just pushing the edges down. It's still gonna look like a cube and boxy, but it's not gonna have those harsh edges anymore. I'm getting every single edge on here. All right, so I push down all my edges like that. Okay, so it's gonna look a little wonky and it's still boxy, but it doesn't have those harsh edges. And then I'm just gonna start pushing in my hand, trying to round it out by squeezing. And if that doesn't work for you, because again, I'm not very strong, I like to use the palm of my hand and just start hitting it on the edges to try and round it out. And then now you can see it's starting to get a ball shape from the pressure of being hit. So I'm just trying to round it out. Then you can kind of throw it back and forth. You can roll it if that helps. You can roll it like straight and then rotate it, roll it straight, or you can roll it in a circle. It's kind of just what finding works best for you. There's so many different ways to do things in here. Just find which way works for you. All right, and eventually you're gonna have something kind of round. It doesn't need to be a perfectly round ball or sphere or anything like that. Mine's just kind of ovally. That's what you're gonna wanna start with. I want you to choose a top. I'm gonna choose right here on this crack because I can get rid of that if I use this as my top. So everywhere else, yeah, it's kind of lumpy, it's got some cracks, but this is kind of a bad one, so I'm gonna open it up here. Okay, so to take it and turn it from a ball into a pot, we're gonna use something called the pinch method. So what you're gonna do is take your thumb and you're gonna find the center of the top and just gently push it in. All right, so I'm gonna do it on that crack right there just because I wanna get rid of it, and doing that there is gonna open it up and get rid of it. So I'm just gonna take my thumb, I'm just gonna gently push through. You're gonna probably get some resistance because it's clay, it's a solid thing. Just gently push. You don't wanna go all the way through. You don't wanna like just push really hard and then accidentally go through the other end. You're just gonna gently push until you feel like you've made a decent amount through. And then it's gonna look like that on top of your thumb. And then you have a little hole to start with. Okay, so from there, we're gonna start pinching. So that's what I mean by we're doing the pinch method, is we're pinching our hands together like this to open it up. More like this because we're not fully closing our hands all the way through. So stick your thumb on the inside of that hole again and just start pinching with these hands, or these fingers. So your inside finger, your thumb, is pinching the clay in between your fingers on the outside. And then rotating it with this hand. And you're just gonna keep pinching and opening and pinching and opening. Make sure you're rotating it. Okay, and then it's gonna keep opening up more and more, and then now you have a nice little pot. And then as you start to open it, you can make it look better and better. This is way too thick, we need to keep going, and plus we're making mugs, so we need to keep it open and open. So this is the part that's gonna be a little tedious because this is the part that's just a process. You just keep doing this until you get your desired shape or size. So this is where you're gonna have to start to pay attention and make sure everything becomes even. But the nice part is once it's open enough, you can start to pinch in different ways, like this, instead of just your thumb. But right now it's way too thick, so I'm focusing on getting it the right amount of thickness. I'm gonna try and make it about a pinky thickness all the way around. So what I mean by that is when I put my pinky up to it, it's a little bit less than my pinky all the way around. But like this, way too thick. Honestly, all of this is way too thick. So I'm just gonna keep going. And pinch gently. I'm doing it kind of quick because I need to get through this for your guys' video. But I want you guys to take your time. So something that happens a lot with this project is students will get it to look like this and think that it is good. The top looks great, it's very even, and once you smooth it out, it's gonna look beautiful. However, this bottom part is so heavy. This is where all of your clay hides. Okay, so let's go over some vocab terms. This is the rim or the lip, this is the wall, and this is the base. Okay, so this part right here, where the wall meets the base, this carries so much clay right here, because you do not go all the way through and open it up more. If you can just feel how heavy that bottom is, it probably is gonna need some more work. So what I'm gonna focus on next is opening up this inside part, right here where my finger's kind of going over it. This inside part where the wall meets the base. It is so thick and I need to take some time to thin it. So what I'm gonna do is keep pinching, except now I'm pinching on the inside more than anything, trying to make it wider and get rid of that. You can also hold it and pinch the original way with your thumb on the inside. You just need to open it up so that the bottom isn't so heavy all that clay isn't stuck there. If you don't move that clay, it's gonna likely explode in the kiln just because it gets too bottom heavy. And now I'm using my fingers because they're longer than my thumb to get in there, and kind of just sweeping and moving it around to try and open up that bottom some more. So I'm rotating it, and I'm just kind of gliding my fingers through that part where the wall meets the base. Or you can pinch like this. And it's gonna look wonky and bumpy at first. Don't worry, we're gonna have plenty of time to smooth it out and make it look the right shape for you. But this is the part that you're gonna spend a lot of time on, is just opening up this bottom part. So that's what I want you to focus on for this beginning part as we're opening it up and shaping it and getting it to look what we want it to look like. Okay, so you're just gonna continue to open it up in here where the wall meets the base, making sure that your rim is even. Mine is even thickness, but it's not cosmetically pretty. But none of it looks nice and smooth yet. We'll get to that next. I just want you to focus on getting it into a pot shape and then opening it up so that way there isn't clay buildup on the bottom. You're opening up that bottom part where the base meets the wall from the inside.